Masters title. I've done it!
Welcome to the highlight show for week 3 of the Ultimate Pool Masters. In this week's group, we've got 2 Ultimate Pool professionals, John Rowe and Craig Waddingham. John Rowe will be in our second match taking on Ryan Hopkinson. Craig Waddingham is in our first match up against Shane Rowley. And they shared the opening couple of frames. We're going to join the match in frame 3 with Craig breaking off.
His potting is so good. It's one of his biggest strengths.
Well, I mean,
sometimes he can run out of position like absolutely anyone, but it's very rare you see him miss pots like he has done at the start of this encounter.
So he's got a couple of options here. I think he'll play the long yellow, bottom right. Oh, he's going to play the one in the centre. I didn't realise he could see that. But
yeah, these look really open now. Good first shot.
Yeah, they look pretty, pretty comfortable for somebody at Craig's level. I wondered if that last rack will just sort of switch Craig on a little bit as well, because I don't know how much he knows about his opponent, which isn't always a good thing, because you're kind of not sure of how well you have to play, if that makes sense. So you can kind of... He's going to know if it ends up being John Rowe. I'm just saying, if it ends up, he's going to know exactly where he needs to be at to win the match. In this instance, he doesn't quite know what level he has to be at to win. So that last rack could have been an indication of that. And now it's a case of sort of switch back on. Actually, give this guy the respect and that he deserves, and sort of knuckle down a little bit.
Nice clearances from Craig Waddingham, and it's never a surprise to see Craig leave a longer 8 ball than some might have there. So backs his potting to the hilt, and that's why. 2-1.
A nice finish there from Craig Waddingham to go in front, and he won the next 3 frames of finishes off the break as well to open up a 5-1 advantage, and we join him breaking off in the next frame.
Really tough. These players are extremely good players. And it's the old saying, you never missed a ball from the commentary box. It's easy to call shots here and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And
my favourite hobby.
Yeah, well, exactly. It is, yeah. But we all do it. If I'm not doing it with pool, I'm doing it with golf or tennis or darts. How's he missed that double 16? Can you believe he's missed that? And then you stop and check yourself, and you think, well, what about if these dart players are watching me miss an 8 ball, 3 foot from the pocket with a cue ball right behind it? It's
Shot.
It's the sport element, it's not easy when you get out there.
No, it isn't. And I actually got a question a few weeks back from one of our viewers who was sort of wondering along those lines. Sometimes felt like we as commentators were a little bit too tough on the players, and I completely accept the point, but it's never our own opinions when we say it's a bad shot, because for me, if I was anywhere near the level of these players, I'd be a very happy man. But it's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I say something's a bad shot, it's because I know the player who's just played it will be thinking exactly that and worse.
Well, you're commentating on what you see. It's like, the bottom line is that it's hard not to be harsh sometimes, but be truthful. Sometimes you got to just say it as it is, But I do tend to try and err on the other side, where I'm not so harsh, because I know how hard it is for this lad out there now. I know what he's going through. I know it's tough for him, and he's doing all right. You know what I mean?
He's been a really good finish if he takes these out.
He is. He's doing all right.
That was a really lovely one. Really hampered.
Sorry, I'd be more inclined to be harsher on Waddingham than what I would on Shane, purely just because I know how good a player that he is.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be the double for Shane Rowley to get this frame. How much is it slid? Not quite enough.
And that mistake there would cost Shane Rowley the frame and put him 6-1 behind. 6-1 will become 7-1 because Craig Waddingham made another reverse clearance in the next. 1 frame away from victory now. Shane did manage to pull a frame back to make it 7-2, and we join him breaking off in the next.
Has let him down a little bit tonight, but he's going to get a late ball roll in.
Yeah. My old pal Darren Appleton used to be good at that, Steve. Hey, Mo. I used to call him last ball rolling Appleton. He could find a last ball roll and then break your heart by clearing up afterwards. Torture that is, you know, when you're in your chair and you think that your opponent's dry broke. And one creeps in from nowhere at the death.
Well, the one that did drop in there, I mean, if you were playing that on a potting line, you'd think, this is too thin. I wouldn't take that on. He's gone straight into these yellows here. There's Shane. Yellow on the left side does pop clean, I think, past the red, so no real problem balls, as it were.
Yeah, and I think he's pretty good here. I actually saw a clip on Facebook today, you know, a player from Peterborough, a really good player, actually, Shane Bolden, his name, very good player. He's got the last ball and the cue ball stuck on the side rail. And he's drawed the cue ball back and it's fell into the middle pocket. And both balls were actually stuck on the rail. I've absolutely no idea how that can even happen.
It's a stupid game.
It is a stupid game, yeah. I've often wondered why I bother playing it. I've tried to jack it in 3 times, keep getting lured back in. Oh, easy.
Put in a little bit of a quick one there, I thought.
Yeah, he didn't. He did.
Always got to give these pots the credit that they need.
Will he move the one out or will he play on it? He's moved it out. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. This is where players see things slightly different, but I think he'll play top left. And he could play centre plant, or he could go centre top corner centre. He's let that run on a fraction. I think he's okay.
I think this is where Craig plays a slightly looser positional game because he does trust his potting more than just about anyone else.
Like he's got to play a shot here, hasn't he? Where if he's straight on it, he's no shot to play. Yeah, it's okay. Got a little bit messy because of it, but if he hits the 8, he wants to hit the right side of it.
Yeah, just like that. It's been a super performance this from Craig Waddingham. Really, really relentless. And he wins it by 8 frames to 2 in no time at all. That one flew by. Excellent performance from Craig Wadd.
Well, what a stunning performance there from Craig Waddingham. Very, very dominant with lots of finishes from the break to book his place in the group final. So let's move on to the second match to see who will join Wadd in that final. It's John Rowe versus Ryan Hopkinson. They did share the opening couple of frames, and we're going to pick the match up in frame 3.
Playing at the volume that he feels like he needs to be able to compete.
Is it then? Well,
that's the thing with John Rowe that you always get. If he can get his break going, he's such a dangerous player.
I just think with John, so when I've known John, we were both 15 playing in the England juniors together. We played each other in that first ever National Junior Championship at Great Yarmouth. We were 15, I think it was the quarters or semi-final, whatever it was. I've known John for a long, long time, and sometimes I think with John, I don't think there's a great deal wrong with his game at all. I think sometimes a little bit between the ears. John would obviously be able to answer that more than me, but you know, he's got a really good, neat game. He's very controlled, he's got a neat, tidy game. I don't know whether it's a bit of interest sometimes, or a little bit of desire, or a bit of kind of, I don't know, lack of. I really don't know, to be quite honest with you. But sometimes you do get that that sort of feeling that he kind of, it's more something going on mentally than it is with his game, I feel.
Yeah, because when John's confident, he does feel like a bit of a confidence player at times. He's confident, he's absolutely phenomenal.
Played a little bit of a careless one there. That was a lot straighter than what it would like to have been. Good shot.
Played that well to get as close as he has here.
It was a very good shot.
He's had a reasonable year on the Pro Series this season as John Rowe. And he punches that 8-ball in. But he's certainly got the game on his day, John, to challenge absolutely anybody. It's just finding that consistency. Oh, how on earth has that cue ball stayed out?
Isn't the ball splitting fantastic tonight? Wow.
Crazy. It's really made for a really attacking night so far.
Yeah, the balls have split incredibly well. Just avoided the middle, just avoided the top left.
I mean, I have no idea how that's not been kicked in there. Absolutely no idea.
So he's got a couple of options. Does he play the plant across the back rail and go reds? Or does he play the yellow into the bottom right? Or does he play the yellow into the right centre?
What would you take here?
I think I'd be inclined to take reds, but I've got a feeling he's going to take yellows.
What is it about those reds, as you've seen, that would have been the favourable colour set? Because they're both on. There's no necessarily difficult balls with any set. There's no obvious answer.
Yeah. See, I would have struggled to play the shot that Ryan's just played because I don't really know where the cue ball's going to end. I've an idea, but I don't really know. And obviously, because I've got a little bit of OCD in terms of finding it hard to play a shot when I don't know what's happening. Whereas with the reds, I definitely knew what was happening. I mean, I'm not suggesting it was definitely reds, but I think if you played the frame 100 times, I think that playing the reds would be purely down to level of ability as opposed to yellows, just purely because of the first shot. That first shot can go wrong, whereas reds, it's all in the ability of the player.
Yeah, I suppose with the distance of the shot, obviously you can't really miss the pot, but it can pot so differently and create so many different angles and pace and all the rest of it.
He came up and he cannoned a yellow and he happened to land on the yellow into the centre. On another day, you don't land on the yellow in the centre, you're on nothing. I'm not saying it's going to happen all the time, but as I said, if you played 100 frames, reds is completely in the skill of the player. But I'm not suggesting it was a really poor decision.
No, absolutely not. It's always a fascinating insight.
That's slightly careless though, because he's left himself the wrong angle on the yellow, so he's going away from the 8-ball.
Yeah, needs to play a good shot here.
He has. Decent enough. As good as he could have done, really. But still a tester.
It's for 2-2.
Nice.
Yeah, good shot.
Both players now in full flow with lovely break clearances to make the score 2 frames all. The next 2 frames were also shared, so we're still all square after 6 frames. Let's move into frame 7, where Ryan has potted himself into trouble.
And make something happen. Yeah, he's going to play it. Make something happen. Could go top corner. Could go top corner. Great effort again. I like the pathway he chose because there were some good things that could happen there.
Yeah, if he'd have managed to take the top corner pocket or tied that red up, it just gives John something extra to think about.
Or a little bit thicker in off the red. There was. So right, John, you've been let off the hook here, mate. You've got to get out.
Just keep an eye on that match clock as well. 21.5 minutes left. Still plenty of time, but at just 3-3. Race to 8. 0 on the clock, remember.
They've played like 6.5 frames in half an hour here.
Which, considering we haven't really heard the beeps of the match clock, the shot clock very often, it's not like it's been played at a slow pace.
No, and there don't seem to have been any tactical frames either.
But I think there's a fair few frames where there's been more than one opportunity in the frame. Both players have touched the table quite a few times.
That's a fraction short, because he was playing on the one next to the yellow there. He can still play it and come 2 cushions if he wants to, but it looks like he's going to play the one below the 8, and he's got to play a decent shot here, otherwise he's going to have an awkward angle. Played it well enough. Definitely a reroute, though. I don't think he was playing that way. He was a touch straight, wasn't he?
Yeah, these are missable.
Now, John, how brave do you want to be? Do you want to play the cue ball underneath the 8 in case you miss? Or do you come across? He did play underneath the 8 in case he missed, and now he's a trickier 8 ball. These are all these things that you start thinking as a player.
Yeah, he's got to back himself to make this, though. Tricky or no. And
Yep.
he jaws it well.
He was edging his bets, Jamie, on the one down the rail, you see.
I think he's hedged his bets for the cue ball a little
He
bit
has,
as well. He's left
he
it on the
has.
top cushion.
What do you play here? Do you play the pot and let the cue ball run wild, or do you play on off the right-hand side of the yellow and play some sort of safety shot? I don't know if I like the pot here, because I think I don't know if there's any reward.
4 is a very, very tough pot.
Yeah, and you might just pot the 8 ball, and all kinds of madness might happen here. I don't like this. Oh, what a shot! Oh, that's harsh.
That's so tough.
That is harsh. Now,
Well, you called it. All kinds of madness can happen
what do
on
you
that
play
shot.
here, Jamo?
I mean, the long double, surely.
You can't play this. No, I'd be snicking off the left-hand side of it. But I'm old.
Playing direct.
No, I'd be playing the safety shot. Unless you can chip it in. It doesn't look like it on our screen. If you can, well, of course, but I think you chip off the other side of it. I wouldn't be playing the double. I can't make a case for this. No. Okay.
Oh, it's not there. And John Rowe gets an almighty let-off.
That's inexperience, I feel.
Would your buddy Phil Harrison have played that without notoriously good a doubler he is?
Even as great as he is at doubles, I don't know.
That felt like a very big moment in this match, and John Rowe hammered home his advantage by winning the next 2 frames as well to go 6-3 in front. And we join him at the table in frame 10.
Ryan's played a really nice shot there with a little loss of turn. And I'm not sure John has.
No, clock's got him. He's got time in if he goes 6-4.
And he's earned it from that very, very clever response to John's safety. Played a really good one.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of work to do here, though.
Yeah, he wants to float this. Nice little 8 o'clock again. Float it over. Pacey. It's pacey. He hit a little bit too high on the white there, so he didn't kill the pace. He was more of like a 10 o'clock than an 8 o'clock, so it was still lively when it hit the rail. Nice shot. Beautiful shot.
Wants that to sit.
That'll do him.
That's okay. 6-4 on the way, is it, for Ryan Hopkinson? Brilliant visit to the table.
That was just what Ryan Hopkinson needed. Having lost 4 frames on the trot, he is back on the scoreboard and 6-4 behind. We're going to move straight into the next frame where he's at the table once again.
I thought he'd play off the other one. He's left it. Wow.
Well, would you believe it?
Yeah, I think John had a bit of a brainwave there.
Oh, chance.
He's perfect as well. He can leave the cue ball on the back rail and just nip it up underneath the yellow. Oh, John's going to be kicking himself if Ryan gets on this and pots it. No,
Perfect.
Good shot. That's a super shot.
Wasn't it
He's got his
just?
tail back up again now, hasn't he? Yeah.
6-5. Oh, he's hit those nice.
Oh, my word.
That's the nicest break he's hit all night.
Is he on anything?
Deserves to be.
Does the yellow cut? Bottom right. Does the yellow cut, folks? Bottom right. Hold on to your hats. He likes it. He just wants to just calm down a bit here. He's a little bit of a bull in a china shop here.
Oh, it's too
yeah,
short.
he's caught up in it a little bit. Look, the old heart rate's up here, and now he's thinking, what have I done?
Yeah, it hits him now.
Yeah, because that's the end of the match.
And John Rowe's too experienced. He'll take his time. He's been under this situation before. He still doesn't like the 15-second shot clock, John Rowe. He'll tell you that one for free. But he's got enough experience just to know.
He hasn't got to do anything, has he?
It was really interesting. You referred to Dave McNamara earlier. I thought he described to me a strategy of playing in these moments. And he said, you just get down on the shot and you just wait for the beeps, and that's your cue to almost start your backswing. It's so interesting. That's now become part of a player's psyche.
It's murder, isn't it?
He does that and he pots every ball. He can't lose.
Yeah, this is over. He'll have enjoyed it though, Ryan. He's not played badly. He'd like to have take a few shots back, I'm sure, but overall
I think he's given a brilliant
he's
account of
made
himself,
a decent
really.
account, yeah.
First time playing on TV.
John will feel like he's maybe got away with one, but John's seen it all before. He's seen it, got the T-shirt. He knows it. He knows what the game's like.
And he'll know he'll have to play a little bit better. He can't afford these mistakes against someone like Craig Waddingham.
But he also knows that, he's capable of all that.
So this won't end the match. Still got to be a race to 8, but it all but does for John Rowe. And into the pocket it goes, 7-5.
That clearance would be enough for John Rowe. With the time ticking down in the next frame, Ryan Hopkinson conceded to hand victory to John, who moves into the group final where he will join Craig Waddingham. It's the two ultimate pool professionals, and they share the opening 2 frames. We're going to move into frame 3 with Wad breaking off.
Maybe. Craig Waddingham's going to try and keep the pace up so they don't have time to have a look, I think. I can't blame him. Oh, I'd have been asking you about pool gods if he'd have got kicked in off there.
Well, I mean, I have to say, I've no bias towards any player, but that is why sometimes I completely hate this game, because an incredible shot selection, I feel, to then break the balls, nearly get kicked off in the top corner and have tap-ins like that is, well, it's close to being ridiculous, isn't it, to be honest?
It's a stupid game. We said it earlier on. At times it just doesn't quite make sense. These are absolutely unmissable for Craig Waddingham. That last shot was such a strange one.
What a difference an hour and a half makes. Now he's contemplating, do I take the one up the rail, which is the shot? And in our first match, in the second frame, he didn't need to play it and he was down like a shot. So this shows you that he's giving John Rowe enough respect for him to at least think about what he's playing next. Nicely played, though. He cues them very well.
Yeah, both of them, just you saw it perfectly in the overhead, like right in the heart of the pockets.
Yeah, he's got a very good technique, particularly for rail pots. He can get a lot out of the cue ball by hitting the cue ball very softly.
A lovely break clearance from Craig Waddingham to go 2-1 in front. The next 4 frames were all clearances from the break, but Craig Waddingham won 3 of them to go 5-2 in front. We're going to join John breaking off in frame 8.
You've got the likes of Craig, like I said, I've mentioned the likes of Josh Kane. John's going to come up dry again here, unfortunately for him. You know, you got Josh Kane, who you're looking for something to happen. You know, he's such a good player. And there'll be 1 or 2 others that might say, "Oh, you forgot me, Mick," and I dare say I have. You know, there's.
There's plenty that haven't won an Ultimate Pool title.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not all about playing your best to win. Sometimes it's about playing your best at the right moments. You know, I'm a big follower of the golf and, you know, the Open Championship at the weekend.
Oh, how about talk about timing?
Yeah, and it was complete timing because it looked for all the money that Rory was going to win, and Cam Smith sort of made the putts at the right time. He's done all the right things at the right time, and that is sport. Sometimes it's not necessarily who's played better or who's played worse, but timing is everything, isn't it? I mean, you talk about darts. You can have somebody averaging 110, 111, but
get beat.
Can't hit the doubles at the right time.
Oh, James Wade made a career of it, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. John Part before him would made a career of it. A fantastic opportunist. Won 3 world titles. But yeah, timing is everything in matches.
And you've got to have a little bit of rub every now and then as well, especially in this game. And John's not had a huge amount of it with the break. He keeps ceding opportunities to Craig Waddingham, and he's starting to take them. And, I mean, we'll play 20 minutes here, and we're close to going 6-2. I don't know if he wanted to cannon that. I think he wanted to drift by. Has he got away with it?
I think the help here is he's playing with right-hand spin to get to the ball, and the right-hand spin is the helper.
Oh, he's fine.
Oh.
Or is he?
He's really loaded it up with spin there, hasn't he?
Well, from one bad shot to another. Sarcastic little tap of the knee from Craig Waddingham. That's the first big mistake he's made in the match.
Feeling too good. That was the situation there. Didn't give enough care. 2 yellows to go. Obviously feels really good about his game.
Big error there from Craig Waddingham, and that would cost him the frame. John Rowe back on the scoreboard, 5-3 now, and he would cut the gap further by winning the next to go 5-4, and we join John at the table in frame 10.
I've got a breakout ball.
What do you play here?
Oh, that's what I was just about to ask you.
Well,
people don't want to hear what I'm playing here. Absolutely nothing.
So you don't really want to pot this, do you? It's like, yeah, you don't really want to pot it because you want balls on the table.
It's now 3 each on the ball count.
So John's having a dip here. John's going to play this, leave himself high on the one on the back rail. Easy then, John. Easy then. That's it's not bad. It's a shade too far. He wants to pot this with a little bit of run inside and cannon the yellow next to the 8 ball. But he's probably come a hair too far. A ball, maybe. He's okay, I think.
Forces
Great
it
shot,
in,
John.
gets the cannon.
Great shot. He was just a hair too far, but he managed to deal with it.
Yeah, it's a great shot, this. Had to really force it in that pocket.
Yeah, that was a super shot. Got the outcome that he wanted as well. This is 5-all. Do you know what? Craig's going to be thinking about not getting on that yellow ball to go 6-2 for a good while if he doesn't win this match.
Oh. I should say. Well, I tell you what, from one thing you would say is John.
Oh, John. Oh. I think he must have thought he was catching the red.
Oh, that's a sloppy one. This is now missable.
Did he think he was catching the red there?
How's your cueing, Johnny boy?
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, he's cued that a dream.
Yeah, excellent.
We're all square at 5 frames apiece. The next 2 frames were both won with reverse clearances to keep the score all locked up. Now at 6 frames all, and both players just 2 frames away from winning the match and coming through the group. Let's move into frame 13. Craig Waddingham with the break.
And it's 6-all.
The balls are shiny and all the rest of it, and it does create those conditions, but Craig Waddingham knows he's got away with one there. Because we talked earlier about players playing the table and playing the conditions as they're presented, but he knows he's missed that.
Yeah.
but he gets away with it. He makes a ball and has a chance.
I mean, really, he ought to just give the frame to John, hadn't he?
Don't know if he's in the right mood for that. If you're in John Rowe's shoes there, because, I mean, every player's made one of those. Every player's been in the opposite chair when their opponent's made one of those. What's going through your mind if you're John Rowe right now?
He's probably thinking he never fancied him to miss it. He's probably thinking, well, it's rattled and gone in. He won't know from his chair how wide it was, if that makes sense. He might just think it just wriggled, and then it's an interesting one. So he's playing. He could have played on the plant here. He could have played on the plant on the left-hand side. There would have been a lot more control with what's going on.
Yeah, he's going to have to make friends with that left side cushion again.
He's going to have to draw into them, and he doesn't exactly know what he's getting here. He could get nothing. Oh, he'll take that, okay. He'll take that, all right. So he just wants to select which pocket for the 8-ball here. And needs to slow down. He doesn't want to be straight.
He looks pretty straight.
Yeah, I think he was hoping to get onto the left side rail after this, and then the one into the centre, and then the 8-ball into the opposite centre. Oh, he's got nothing. Oh, my word.
What a gap he's hit there.
Oh.
He's played that, hasn't he? You don't think?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him afterwards.
I mean, if he's played it, he's picked an unbelievable gap.
Oh,
but he'd have been so far away with anything else. I can only think he's played it.
He's fractionally overhit that. He's a bit straight. He wanted more angle.
He'd love just to be able to die this in, but he can't. He's got to do something with this cue ball.
Do you know what he might take? He might take his medicine here. Take your medicine and play the double on the 8-ball. Yeah, that's what he's done.
That was a much cleaner pot than his last into that pocket.
Medicine time. He may play the cut. He may be able to see the cutting angle on the 8-ball. I think he'll play the cut if he can get enough of the 8. Back himself to play the pot. Oh.
Well.
And that missed 8-ball would gift John Rowe the frame, who's now just one frame away from winning. We're going to move straight into the next frame and join him at the table with a chance to complete victory.
It pops up and out. Like that. Oh, you've not hit it, John. Oh, wow.
And Craig Waddingham comes to the table.
He's not hit it. I just felt like if he could have done a little bit more with the plant at the top of the table first shot, he could have got down there closer to his work.
Now, Rowe rue that.
Rowe rue, that's easy for you to say. Will Rowe rue that shot, Craig? Now, does he get out?
Never in doubt this, is it? Surely. This match has deserved a hill decider.
He's played that well. I like that choice of shot.
Again, he's going to have to make best mates with this bottom left cushion, which has not always been kind to Craig Waddingham in this match.
Nothing for straight. Just okay, I think. Oh, he's a touch straight. He's okay, though. Especially into bottom left.
Well, you would have thought.
Yeah, of all the places you want to be hitting, this is bottom left.
Yeah, that one's nice, though. No extra help needed. This for 7-all. We're going the distance.
Pull the reins in.
Into a decider we go, and it's a tricky layout as well.
You can't really argue with that, can you?
Well, John Rowe will come to the table in the decider. That's all he would have been hoping when Craig was queuing up for that break. 15-second shot clock.
Oh, John's having a dip.
Well, John, you're a braver man than me.
Not many. He's having a dip. Mind if he can pot these 2 reds and then get onto the side rail. He wants an angle here. I think he's got one. If he can get to the side rail here and land flat on it, and he has done, that's a super shot. Oh, he's just popped out a fraction on him.
He's got a bit of a bounce there, hasn't he?
Yeah, because when he pots this one in the bot, he wants to be able to stun out for the... He might take his medicine here and just run into the yellow to guarantee the angle.
Yeah, just like that.
Pot the ball, stun out for the 8 ball into the centre. This will be an unbelievable finish if he knocks these in. What a shot.
What a shot, John.
What a shot. How accessible is this, though? It still looks tight, doesn't it?
This for the win.
Absolutely brilliant.
John Rowe has done
Brilliant
it
finish.
and wins a classic.
Oh, what a match from both players, but it is John Rowe that comes through a dramatic deciding frame to book his place in the second stage of Ultimate Pool, the Masters. He joins Shane Thompson and Jack Whelan in the second stage of the competition as we turn our attention to week 4, where Greg Batten is joined by Connor Tracy, Darren McCarthy and Nathan Ellis. You don't have to wait very long for this one. It will be exclusively live on ultimatepool.tv tonight at 6:30. I'll be back next week for another roundup. Thanks for your company. I'll see you soon.
Phil Harrison for the Masters title. Done it!